I'm Alan Rice. A few things in Equisoft Live. It's one of our web-based software systems to help manage your stud or training yard. So the first thing we see when we log in is a dashboard. This will show various reminders of upcoming races or treatments that are due. We can see here that there's a foal due here, and we click on it and we can see the reminder there, so it's due on the 1st of February. So we can view in on this record, and we're brought straight into the mare's record where it has all their main information. You can record as much or little information as you want to do. You can record all their main details. We can record their location. There's the full location history, when she moved into the farm and when she moved away, and later on this is used to automatically calculate her billing at the end of the month with a simple click. As we know, ownership can be quite complicated. The system allows for different ownership percentages, so you could have owners that are only charging 50% for the keep and a different percentage charge for activities, and there's also a full history, so if it changes during the month.
Lunch is now being served in the Calvary restaurant upstairs.
It's the fantastic PA system at Goffs.
Yeah, I know. So you can record a full history or full ownership there, and again it's worked out based on the bills, and we can see previous history for this horse. I'll just hop into a nicer horse actually. This is the main horse search screen.
Attention, lunch is now being served in the Calvary restaurant upstairs.
So here we can see a more complicated owner setup where we have 50% owned, a 50% charge, a 50% keep, and then a quarter for the other owners, and we have a full history going back recorded. We can record a full history of the horse's breeding details. Any horse that's entered in the system is automatically available, so the pedigree breeds up very quickly and you don't have to add in everything each time.
Perfect.
There's a full breeding history and it records all the main foal details. You record when it foaled, the weight of the foal, and any pictures as well. All the information is related, so we have 17 Blue at Bay here, which is the foaling record, but that's its own record in its own right, so we can click in and view on that, and we can see all the information related to that. So,
and have you got boxes for the genomics at all yet? Have you added that for like the speed genes and stuff? No?
We have a very simple genetic code which is here, so it's just the different, just as a recording of it. So it's just a note there for it.
And you've got note boxes everywhere.
We have
so
note boxes.
Always expand on that anyway.
And these are just basic ones for the horse, but you can go into much more detail through what we call our activities. So you have activity here, and we have notes. Again, we'll look in Blue Bay. And you can build up a full history of notes here, so there can be training notes or there can be vet notes and progress notes, when it was recording, the type of note. Everything that we see in these pop downs is also customizable, so they can set up the system how they want. You can put in different types of notes as well. Give it a nice little icon so it jumps out on the calendar when they sign in the morning, different activities. For each note you can also add attachments, so you can add in a picture and build up a history. It could be a PDF. Some people store PDFs of their passports as well. They can cut out where they were abroad and they bring the horse back. Yeah. Didn't have the passport, but they were able to print it out or show it, and that was good enough for some places. Activities, I suppose, is the main daily thing that people will do. So they'll want to record their vet or their farrier history or any miscellaneous treatment against the horse. As time goes on, this speeds up because it remembers
what
settings and you can also put
regular
in,
things are all getting cached in.
And you can put in, you can set default charges as well in the system. So we can click on vet here and we'll just pick one at random. We'll do a fluent vet. We can see when it picked this, it's put in today's date. It's put in a charge that it knows what the typical charge is, the tax code associated with it.
With the vets and his
name. And this goes in as full history. Has our revisit date there as well, so we know to check up whatever months later for the follow-up treatment, and you can also override it there if you want. But again, this is all customizable, so the user can choose what they want to do. We put it into a draft stage. This helps in bigger organisations where someone else might print out this as a list and they'll tick it off as they go through the different yards and the work is done. And at the end of the day, they will come in and they'll click on this and they will confirm that the work is done, and that goes into the history. And I suppose they'll build up various different treatments. So we'll see that we have farrier treatments. Again, these are all can be set up by the user and have different default charges. So this drives the inquiry windows, which might happen if someone rings up and goes, "What happened to my horse?" You can go in and you can have a look at.
And you're not getting mistakes.
Exactly, yeah. So I'll just pick one of them at random. So this is a foaling inquiry window, which is driven from the breeding record, and you can see there's a full history here. All the screens have various filters, so you can narrow down what information you want to get back.
But it must also mean your administrative staff can do duties that before only the trainer could do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they can. Before you might have just a paper-based system, and you can put it in on this. What we also offer as well with Equisoft Live is we offer 3 different sign-in accounts, and they can have restricted access. So you might have an administrator who can see everything, but then you might have an input staff or a secretary who might only have access to basic horse information, and the system will allow us to tailor this. This is just some of the setting screens that
Is there an owner login with a minimised view as well?
Yeah, you can choose what way you set it up. So what we have here is we have staff roles. You can choose from all these sections here if they can either see everything, maybe they can just read only and not make changes or none. And then we can see different staff. So you can see here we have just some test accounts set up, an administrator, a groom and a vet. So some might put in information, and then maybe you want to restrict the billing that only one person can handle that. So from the billing side,
is there a drug thing and a vaccines?
Again, they'd fall under the vet.
Activities.
So just as an example, if I go into daily activities and activity code, this is one of the maintenance screens. We give you some codes to get you started, but people will obviously have their own and their own charges, and they can add them up, and they can go in and they can set various options. So this would be the number of days that the next treatment occurs. There's different invoice settings. Maybe there's a change to the mare status after it happens. Maybe if she scanned positive, we want that reflected on our breeding record, which means that you maybe, you might make changes to how you're going to your cover reports and so on.
Yeah.
So I suppose the next big thing would be the billing module, and this saves people a lot of time at the end of the month. So we've looked at a horse and we've put in just a vet item, and we've looked at the movement where there's full horse history where a horse comes and goes. So what to do at the end of the month, they go in, they'll have different categories which are just a group of horses. So we might have horses that are leaving, and we want to run this to the end of the month, and we just simply click calculate. It will look at where the horse has been, so it might have been at your farm for only 4 days of that month. It will know to only charge those 4 days. It went away for 2 days, then come back, and it will work out another 4 days. And it will also work out the split and the ownership. So if we look at our Blue Bay, if we remember had a split ownership, we'll see here that we have our keep fees, and it's charged at €45 by 30 days, and we have the ownership percentage.
Nice.
So again,
so how can anyone go back not using this computer and back to their paper process?
No, they couldn't do it.
The hire people.
Yeah, it would take too long to work all this out. You saw how quick that was to calculate the invoices. We have our split ownerships. We have some items that are being charged. We can have owners that are set not to be charged anything or have a discount applied.
So why do you think some trainers are staying with paper? What's the is it just...
It's probably what they're most comfortable with, and they know it works, but maybe there's a benefit to be had that you can do it quicker and for less money and be more accurate as well, because once it's in the system, the bit of paper isn't going to get lost. We can also pull out more information that might help them. Once the information's in there, we can run various different reports, or they might decide we want a new report with new statistics and new total figures. We can work that out, and we have the full history to do it. Yeah.
So you're a leading light in this area. I mean, in sort of 5-10 years' time, where do you think this is all going to be? How detailed and what next things are going to jump off this computer once more people get involved and start using it?
Yeah, I suppose it's just going to become more accessible to people. It's going to be more mobile as well. We're seeing that we're moving from desktop systems into mobile phones and tablets. It's also popping up in places where you might have a traditional blackboard or a screen, or a writing out list or something like that, where used to write it up in marker. If there's a mistake, to rub it out. Now it can all be driven by software, and they just click refresh, and the screen pops up in the yards and the stables.
And at the moment, say, how much mobile use would you be seeing on your traffic?
For Equisoft Live, it is a web system, so everything is either going to come through a desktop or a tablet. Originally, it was desktop in an office system, so a traditional setup.
So it's moving already, migrating.
Yeah, but people want, I suppose, out and about as well, and there can be, some people might ring up if they want to do a nomination or they want to send in there and they want to know information about it. So some people would be handling those phone calls from home, whereas before they might have to dial into their office, or they might have to drive in even.
And the vet's seeing it great because he can see what his to-do list is before he goes down there.
Yeah.
Before he leaves the house, before he leaves.
Absolutely, and it can be ticked
See
off.
how much time he's going to have to appropriate to it.
And I suppose with our account side of things, we have it where it works out all their invoices, but we also export it into various accounts packages which people might already be using. So it can export to Sage and QuickBooks.
It saves them a lot of money in accountancy fees.
Yeah, well, it helps them. You know, it's reducing their bookkeeping in some ways as well. We do have a client's portal as well with this, so this will be one of the add-on features that you may not have had before. So most people might have online banking in that. Our software helps managers manage their stud, but it might also provide a service to their clients in turn. So people are keeping horses with them and so on. And what this is just 1 second. So this is a portal for some of their own clients. So they're going to add an extra service. So, it might help them stand out. So rather than them taking phone calls in the office going, how's my mare getting on or what's happening, they can dial into this portal and they'll only see information about their own horses. And I suppose that's one of the enrichment items that you could have with the software that you wouldn't have had before. There's no way to do this before because you just have to take the phone call. Yeah. And they'd have to look it up then in-house.
And this encourages more diversity. People can bring more horses to you and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's an extra service to you, and it should take the load off the office as well, because you're empowering people to go and find out information about their own horses as well. Yeah. That's it. There's different modules depending on what people want to do. So I've covered there the main ones: managing horses and managing the keep and that side of things.
And how long is your sort of usual training up someone who's been using paper to using this?
We all say allow a month. You'll be up and running almost straight away. We find the billing takes the greatest adjustment, but after they do their first month's bills, they're ready to go from there. So we provide support earlier on from the phone, email, or if they want to call into our office, or we can also arrange visits out. So we run through the bills with them, we go through the system and how it works, and typically after the first month people are able to use it by themselves, and that's it, so it's very easy to use.
So in the horse tech market we have a lot of problems where people they need this system in place before they can sell to the target market. You can't bring high tech into a paper-based system, it's not going to work, and so I think you're doing a very important groundwork of building shovels and stuff like that.
I suppose and this is the reason we did Equisoft Live. We've always had traditional desktop client-server setups where you would need infrastructure set up in a stud or trainer's yard, which requires maintenance of people on site, and if anything goes wrong, and on the usual herd as well. Because Equisoft Live is a cloud-based system, all they have to do is sign up on the account and that's it. They don't have to look after the hardware, they don't have to look at anything if there's anything goes wrong with it, or the power or backups. We have to take care of all of that, and it's all included in a set monthly fee. So control system.
So you can use your same computer, you have no upgrades on that back end stuff.
If their computer blows up or is stolen, their information's on the cloud, bring in another one, sign into your account, and that's it. And that's the real benefit of it.
Very good. Right, thank you very much. Great talking.
That's great. Cheers.